Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss measures of promoting foreign investment in India. About the foreign direct investment regime in India. So the Prime Minister of India on July 21st, 2020 in his virtual address at the 2020 India Idea Summit organized by US India Business Council, that is India's Idea Summit, has said that India has attracted a foreign investment of over $20 billion between the months of April to July. And while due to the unprecedented spread of COVID-19 pandemic, there has been a massive slowdown in the world economy, with India being no exception to it. The government of India had been making a series of announcements in the area of foreign direct investment in order to give a boost to the foreign investors' confidence and attracting more investments in India. Now, today's discussion or this presentation actually aims to focus on the changes that has been brought about in the foreign direct investment regime of India, what all measures has been taken by the Indian government to make this foreign direct investment flourish, and also it aims to analyze the potential these changes in policy holds, particularly in the wake of global pandemic. The foreign direct investment is, as we know, when an investor living in one country invests in a business based in the other country. So, under FDI, the foreign investor owns 10% of the company where the investment is being made. If the investor owns less than 10%, the International Monetary Fund defines it as part of his or her stock portfolio. Now, this 10% stake in the business is a safe figure as it gives the investor enough control to develop a lasting interest in the firm through controlling ownership, and yet it is not enough for the investor to solely control important decisions. Now, having a controlling ownership is what differentiates a foreign direct investment from foreign portfolio investment. Now, today, India is one of the most attractive destinations for foreign direct investments. As per data released by Department of Promotion of Industry and International or Internal Trade, FDI in India stood at 456.79 billion US dollars during April 2000 to December 2019. For the fiscal year 2019-20, the data indicated that the country's service sector attracted the highest FDI equity inflows of 6.52 billion US dollars, followed by computer software and hardware, that is 6.34 billion US dollars, and then telecommunication sectors with 4.29 billion US dollars, and trading with 3.52 billion US dollars. Apart from being a critical driver of economic growth, foreign direct investment has been a major non debt financial resource for the economic development of India. Foreign companies invest in India to take advantage of relatively lower wages, special investment privileges like tax exemptions, etc. Now, for a country where foreign investment is being made, it also means achieving technical know how and generating employment. So, the Indian government's favorable policy regime and robust business environment has ensured that foreign capital keeps flowing into the country. Now, the government has taken many initiatives in recent years, such as relaxing FDI norms across sectors such as defense, PSU, oil refineries, telecom, power exchanges, and stock exchangings, among others. What have been the growth indicators of foreign direct investment in India? In the next half of the year, it has been projected that the Indian economy will likely rebound from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic and grow by 6.7% in the next financial year, according to IHS Markit. As per the World Investment Report 2020 released by UN Conference on Trade and Development, economic growth in India would be positive, albeit lower in a post COVID 19 period. In 2019, the foreign direct investment inflows into the country had jumped to $51 billion US dollars, due to which India from 12th position in 2018 jumped to the 9th position in 2019 among the world's largest FDI recipient countries. What is the market size? Now, according to Department for Promotion of Industry and International Trade, that is DPIIT, FDI equity inflow in India stood at $500.12 billion US dollars between April 2000 and September 2020. And what did that indicate? It indicated that government's effort to improve ease of doing business and relaxing FDI norms has yielded results. FDI equity inflows in India stood at $30 billion US dollars in 2020-21, that is between April 2020 and September 2020. Data for 2021 indicates that computer software and hardware sectors attracted the highest FDI equity inflows of $17.55 billion US dollars, followed by the service sector at $2.25 billion US dollars, trading at $949 million US dollars, and chemicals those are other than the fertilizers at $437 million US dollars. Now, in 2021, between April 2020 and September 2020, India received the maximum FDI equity inflows from Singapore, that is $8.30 billion US dollars, followed by US, that is $7.12 billion US dollars. Then there was Cayman Islands with $2.10 billion US dollars, and Mauritius with $2 billion US dollars, and Netherlands with $1.49 billion US dollars, and UK with $1.35 billion dollars. In 2021, between April 20 and September 2020, Gujarat received the maximum FDI equity inflows of $16 billion US dollars, followed by Maharashtra at $3.61 billion US dollars, Karnataka at $3.66 billion US dollars, and Delhi at $2.66 billion US dollars. The need for FDI and past policy changes. FDI is a major source for a non-debt resource for the economic development of the country. Inflow of FDI to a country not only brings the required injection of money into domestic industries, but also brings in the inflow of technology, knowledge, skill, and expertise that enhances capacities and competitive capabilities of domestic businesses. The influx of investment into India has hugely improved since the liberalization, privatization and globalization reforms of 1991, when Government of India opened up the Indian economy for expanding the role of private and foreign investments. Since then, India has now become an attractive FDI destination, becoming one of the top 5 host economies for FDI in the developing Asia region. With the aim of promoting investments, the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, that is FERA, was enacted, which gave power to the Reserve Bank of India to act as the statutory governing body for regulation and control. Over time, for better management, Government of India brought in the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. In India, the FDI flows are regulated by the Foreign Exchange Management, that is transfer or issue of security by a person resident outside India Regulations Act 2000, which works in accordance with FEMA. As per its provisions, a foreign investor, which is a person who is residing outside India and who happens to be a citizen of a foreign state or a body corporate registered outside India, can undertake investments in India. Now, what has been the FDI inflows into India? So, the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade Ministry of Commerce and Industry, that is formerly known as Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, focuses on the facilitation of FDI into the country by issuing consolidated foreign direct investment policy that governs the limit at which foreign investors can invest in the different sectors of the economy. Prescribed sectoral caps are issued from time to time by DPIIT, regulating or deregulating investment that comes in India. As per the quarterly statistics of DPIIT, the data with regard to inflow of FDI in 2019-20 has shown that during the said period, India received the maximum FDI inflow from Singapore, followed by Mauritius, the Netherlands, and USA and Japan. The top tier sections attracting the most FDIs are: 1. Service sector, attracting the highest FDI equity inflows of 7.85 billion US dollars. Computer software and hardware closely follows the above with 7.67 billion US dollar inflow. Telecommunications sector is at 4.44 billion US dollars and trading at 4.57 billion US dollars. While the FDI inflow into India has significantly increased over time, where the top FDI attractive states are Maharashtra, Karnataka, Delhi, and Gujarat, but the increase in FDI flows have also been coupled with strong regional concentrations. As per the findings of an expert study, the states which are already rich in FDI investments tend to receive more equity flows, making it all the more difficult for the states with laggard history of attracting FDI inflows to get fresh investments. What has been the recent changes by Government of India? So the Government of India has recently undertaken easing of FDI norms across various sectors of the economy, such as aviation. So in Union Budget 2019-20, Government of India had proposed opening up the aviation for FDI in consultation with all the stakeholders. In pursuance of above and for the strategic disinvestment of Air India Limited, the Finance Ministry on July 27, 2020 notified changes in FDI rules to permit non-resident Indians to acquire up to 100% in Air India. Before the change, only Indian citizens could bid for a 100% stake of Air India, while investments by anyone else, included by foreign airlines, is up to limit of 49%. Now, in the case the person is NRI, then Government of India permits 100% investment under the automatic route. This change in policy is more attractive for investors, as with the change of FDI norm, Government of India has advertised that 100% share of Air India is up for sale. In the insurance sector, India has raised foreign direct investment cap for investment in insurance to 49%. Also now there has been relaxation of foreign investment limit for insurance intermediaries, with 100% FDI being permitted. In the past months, the Foreign Exchange Management, that is the non-debt instruments, Rules 2020 were notified to take effect from April 27, 2020. The significant change that was introduced by this amendment is the increase in the limit of the foreign equity investment cap to the insurance brokers, reinsurance brokers, insurance consultants, corporate agents, third-party administrators, surveyors, and loss assessors and such other entities as may be notified by IRDAI to 100%. The limit was increased from 49% to 100% by this amendment. However, it is to be noted that this was not for the first time that such move has been announced by the government. In 2019, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in her Union Budget had announced that the government would allow 100% foreign investment for insurance intermediaries. Subsequently, the Indian Insurance Companies Foreign Investment Amendment Rules 2019 were issued in order to amend the Indian Insurance Companies, that is Foreign Investment Rules 2015. By the April 27, 2020 notification, an amendment corresponding to the previous announcements were made in the Foreign Exchange Management Rules as well. So the amendment rules, however, caps the total foreign investment in the paid-up equity capital of an Indian insurance company to 49%. The foreign investment up to 49% of the total paid-up equity, though allowed on the automatic route, is subject to approval or verification by the IRDAI. The amended rules further mandates that the ownership and control of an Indian insurance company remains at all times in the hands of resident Indian entities, and then the composition of the board of directors and key management persons of insurance intermediaries will be as specified by the IRDAI. Further, the insurance intermediary that has majority shareholding of foreign investors are required to be compliant with the following conditions. The insurance intermediary should be incorporated as a limited company under the Companies Act 2013. At least one from among the chairman of the board of directors or the CEO or principal officer or managing director of the insurance intermediary must be a resident Indian citizen. Is to take a permission of IRDAI for repatriating dividends. Also, it's to bring in the latest technological, managerial, and other skills. The intermediary shall not be permitted to make payments to the foreign group, promoter, subsidiary, interconnected, or associate entities beyond what is necessary or permitted by IRDAI. The intermediary has to make disclosures in a format specified by IRDAI of all payments made to its group, promoter, subsidiary, interconnected, or associate entities, and the composition of the board of directors and key management persons of the insurance intermediaries shall be as specified by the concerned regulators. Now, this move is expected to bring a substantial amount of foreign direct investment into the country through the insurance sector. The regulation of insurance intermediaries with the majority shareholding by IRDAI has the potential of providing a level playing field to all the players. The future will tell that how the market participants and the global insurance players will react to the change in the framework of the foreign investment. The third area is defense, and in May 2020, Government of India increased FDI in defense manufacturing under the automatic route from 49% to 74%. India has also established 2 defense corridors to encourage production of defense equipment and platforms. Within our presentation, we'll come back to defense again because it has actually made a sea change in the defense industry. Next is the digital one. In December 2019, the Government of India permitted 26% FDI in digital sectors. The sectors has particularly high return capabilities in India as favorable demographics, substantial mobile and internet penetration, massive consumption along with technology uptake provides great market opportunity for a foreign investor. The Government of India has recently undertaken certain restrictions as well from investments from land bordering countries. So, India revised its foreign direct investment policy by Press Note 3 and Foreign Exchange Management Non-Debt Instruments Amendment Rules 2020, imposing certain stricter norms on foreign investments in companies in India from an investor who is based out of a country and land bordering India. As per the press note, the changes in the consolidated FDI policy 2017 was for an aim to curb opportunistic takeovers or acquisitions of Indian companies when they have been severely affected due to COVID-19 pandemic. By this move, the investors from China, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and Myanmar are to face restriction and can only invest under the government route. The revised policy also includes in its ambit a beneficial owner of an investment situated in or who is a citizen or any of the aforementioned countries. The policy states that for all such categories of investors, the investment can only be made under the government route. Further, in the event of a transfer of ownership of an existing or future FDI in an entity in India, directly or indirectly resulting in the beneficial ownership falling within the restriction or purview of the bordering countries. Such subsequent change in beneficial ownership will also require a government approval. The restriction takes out all potential funding from new investors as well as supplementary funding from a beneficial owner from India's land border sharing countries from the automatic route. The move does not aim in the restriction of the foreign investment from the land bordering countries, but only intends to regulate the future foreign investments or transfer of existing investments to beneficial owners located in bordering countries in India. Having said that, the announcement of the press note has also brought ongoing transactions to a halt. The Indian companies receiving foreign investments have been forced to conduct regressive diligence exercise before the finalization of their transactions. The absence of the threshold limits and the non-clarity in the definition of beneficial ownership have made the position and application of the press note somewhat unclear. In the present form, since a perceived restriction of government approval has been imposed on any form of investment by a land bordering nation's entity, the possibility of some delay in the ongoing transactions cannot be ruled out. However, such a policy action has been used for the sole purpose of avoiding opportunistic takeovers of Indian companies with a limited coverage to the land bordering countries around India. In the present circumstances of a raging COVID 19 pandemic rendering many Indian entities vulnerable, the government's move is directly in line with public welfare and national security interests. There have been significant investments and developments, in the second quarter of financial year 21, total FDI inflows amounted to 28.1 billion US dollars, of which equity inflows were 23.44 billion US dollars. This boosted foreign direct investment equity inflows to 30 billion US dollars between April 2020 and September 2020. That is a 15% increase on year basis compared with the same period in financial year 2020. In November 2020, rupees 2,480 crore, that is equivalent to 337.53 million US dollars, foreign direct investment in ATC Telecom Infra Private Limited was approved by the Union Cabinet. In November 2020, Amazon Web Services announced to invest 2.77 billion US dollars, that is 20,761 crores in Telangana to set up multiple data centers, that is the largest FDI in the history of the state. Since April 2020, the government has received over 120 foreign direct investment proposals worth 12,000 crores, that is 1.63 billion US dollars from China. Between April 2000 and September 2020, India received 2.43 billion FDI from China. According to data provided by Reserve Bank of India, India's outward foreign direct investment in equity, loan and guaranteed issues stood at 101.06 billion US dollars in November 2020 versus 3.51 billion US dollars in October 2020. And in the month of March 20, the Government of India allowed non-resident Indians to acquire up to 100% stake in Air India. And last year in December, the government allowed 26% FDI in digital sectors. Last year in August, the government permitted 100% FDI under the automatic route in coal mining for open sale, as well as in developing elite infrastructure like washeries. Apart from this, 100% foreign direct investment was also permitted for insurance intermediaries. Then during 2019-20, India received the maximum foreign direct investment equity flows from China and Singapore, that is 11.65 billion US dollars, followed by Mauritius, that is 7.45 billion US dollars, then $3.53 billion from Netherlands and 2.80 billion US dollars from Japan and 2.79 billion US dollars from USA. So this has been a summary of the recent steps which we have just discussed. Seizing opportunities and realizing potentialities. Government of India in the recent part has proactively facilitated reforms in the ecosystem to realize India's FDI potential. India's ranking in the Ease of Doing Business 2020 survey is an indication of that, as India climbed 14 rungs in the survey undertaken by the World Bank to stand at number 63 among 190 countries, making it one of the world's top 10 most improved countries for the third consecutive time. Some of the improvements undertaken by Government of India are related to resolving insolvency, making the process of obtaining building permits more efficient, making it easier to undertake importing and exporting with the creation of a single electronic platform for trade, stakeholders, upgrading port infrastructure, and advancement in electronic submission of documents, among other improvements cited by the survey. India also partakes in investing in other major economies of the world, as according to the Confederation of Indian Industry Survey report released in June 2020 titled Indian Roots American Soil. Indian companies have pumped in over 22 billion US dollar worth of FDI into the US, and it also created about 1,25,000 jobs covering all of its 50 states, as per the report, which surveyed 155 Indian companies in the United States. In the recently concluded India Idea Summit, the Prime Minister of India therefore has invited businesses of the US to seize investment opportunities in India, as well as the country offers openness, numerous opportunities, and myriad options for investments. The potential of growth of certain sectors such as healthcare, infrastructure, defense, energy, civil aviation, and insurance are particularly high, with capacity for greater returns and dividends for a foreign investor. What have been the government initiatives? In December 2020, the government of Uttar Pradesh agreed to provide Samsung Display Noida Private Limited with special incentives to set up a mobile and IT display product manufacturing unit. Under the central government scheme for promotion of manufacturing electronic components and semiconductors, Samsung will also receive a financial incentive of 460 crores, and this project will develop a global export hub in Uttar Pradesh and will help the state attract more foreign direct investment. In December 2020, changes in the guidelines for the provision of direct to home services have been approved by the Union Cabinet, enabling 100% FDI in DTH broadcasting service market. In October 2020, 16 qualifying applicants under the PLI scheme were approved by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. For 5 years subsequent to the base year, the PLI for large scale electronics production will extend an incentive of 4 to 6% on the incremental sales of products manufactured in India to the qualifying firms. Samsung, Foxconn, Rising Star, Wistron, and Pegatron are the foreign mobile phone manufacturing companies that have been approved in the mobile phone market. Under Magnetic Maharashtra too, the state implemented core investment promotion recovery initiatives such as plug and play infrastructure, Maha Jobs, Maha Parwana, Investor First Program, capacity augmentation of MIDC land banks, and dedicated country desks. This accelerated economic growth and improved consumer trust, placing the state as one of the country's most preferred investment destinations, flourishing the state's industrial sector. So, what is the road ahead? India is expected to attract foreign direct investment of 120 to 160 billion US dollars per year by 2025, according to Confederation of Indian Industry and Ernst and Young report. Over the past 10 years, the country witnessed a 6.8% rise in gross domestic product, with foreign direct investment increasing to gross domestic product at 1.8%. In terms of attractiveness, investors ranked India number 3. That is, 80% investors have plans to invest in India in next 2 to 3 years, while approximately 25% reported investments worth 500 million US dollars, as stated by the Economic Times. So, in conclusion, we can say that in the case of India, which is an open, transparent, and a development oriented democracy, it is essential that like minded developed nations such as United States and certain members in European Union provide a lending hand to the government of India in its efforts to bridge gaps within the domestic system while building on commonalities which allows a free flow of investments to India. The country has high growth prospects along with the potential and requisite capacities to help turn around the dwindling economies of the world affected by COVID-19 pandemic. A robust and easy accessible foreign direct investment regime therefore will also evolve India in becoming a new manufacturing capital while also providing an alternative for the world's shaken up value chains to be based in. These are the references. Thank you for listening.